Hello, traveler! Are you planning your trip to Paris? But you're still asking yourself where you should stay? That's a pretty good question. Let me help you with that. Where should I stay in Paris? This is one of the most frequent questions my customers ask me. And to be honest, the answer is not that obvious because it all depends on your style, your budget, your interests, and many other aspects that only you know. So I recommend you to dedicate a little bit of energy to this topic in order to take the best advantage of your time and your money during your visit to Paris. In this video, I'm going to share with you a lot of interesting information so that you can make the best choice. Good news, Paris is a pretty small city. It has a circular shape and it measures about 6 miles or 10 kilometers diameter. It has a forest on the east and one on the west side of it. If you decide to cross Paris walking, it will take you about 2 hours. If you don't make any stops though. If you decide to take the metro, it will take you roughly 40-45 minutes from one side to the other. The city is divided in 20 districts, which we call in French arrondissement. Pretty complicated word, so you don't need to remember that. They are organized in a spiral shape, starting with district number 1 in the center by the River Seine and where the famous Louvre Museum is located. Going to district 2 to the north, 3 to the east, 4 to the south, you get the idea. It goes all around, all the way to district number 20 where the famous Père Lachaise cemetery is located. Each of these arrondissements has a different ambience, which is great because there is a place for everyone here. So if you do a little bit of research, you can find the best place for you to stay. How do we recognize in which arrondissement or district is a particular address? Well, you just have to look at the zip code or postal code, look at the last 2 numbers, and there you go, you'll know in which arrondissement it is located. We also refer to many areas with the old names that locals used to give before the 20 districts existed. We call some of these areas with the names of important streets or important monuments that make that area special. And lastly, since the beautiful River Seine crosses the city, it also divides it in 2 big sections. The rive gauche, or the left bank, and the rive droite, or the right bank. In this video, I'm going to tell you interesting information about the 3 most famous places to stay on the left bank. Well, if you're interested in the right bank, click over here to see the video I made about the 4 most famous places to stay on the right bank. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Check them out.
Oh, the Eiffel Tower, probably the world's most famous monument. This is one of the places people ask me a lot about. It sounds like a dream to have a room looking towards the amazing Iron Lady. And yes, it can be great. There are 2 cases in which I would recommend you this area. Case 1. If you're coming on July the 14th, the French National Day, if you definitely want to see the fireworks on Bastille Day, make sure you get a place to stay facing the tower. Otherwise, you will have to join the crowd at the park, and although it is an exciting experience, I am not sure everyone will enjoy to be in such a crowd, especially if you're traveling with kids. Case 2. If you're coming for the first time, and for a very short stay. The area surrounding the Eiffel Tower is beautiful. It obviously allows you to be right next to this amazing monument. There are a lot of souvenir shops, and several river tour companies are just steps away. But in order to get to the most lively and local areas, you will always have to take some type of transportation. This area is pretty expensive unless you go a bit farther south towards District 15, where you might find better deals. This is the area of the universities, the Roman ruins, the medieval streets, and lovely gardens like the Jardin des Plantes or Botanical Garden. The Luxembourg Garden on the west side is just steps away. I think this is a perfect area to stay if you're traveling with kids or teens. This, especially because of the green spaces, but also because you will always find something to do within walking distance. There are endless restaurants and shops for affordable prices. Be careful though not to fall into the many tourist traps around, especially the ones located between Saint-Michel Square and Notre Dame Cathedral. At the riverside, you'll be able to find perfect spots to improvise a picnic. If you want to have a more local experience, I would recommend you to stay near Mouffetard Street, which is towards the south. While if you want to stay more central and have no problem with crowds, then you can stay near Boulevard Saint-Germain. If you have mobility issues, please consider that the south part of the Latin Quarter is located on a hill, and streets can sometimes be narrow and with uncomfortable sidewalks. Prices in the Latin Quarter can be more affordable than in other central areas, so if you are on a medium budget, I would recommend you to look for a place around here. This is my personal favorite area. Saint-Germain-des-Prés was in the Middle Ages an abbey with a village around. With the time, when Paris expanded, it absorbed this place, becoming the neighborhood we have today. The great thing about Saint-Germain-des-Prés is that it preserves the old Parisian ambience. Here, you will find many cafes, perfect to do some people watching and eat well at the same time. Between the medieval narrow streets, there are interesting art galleries and interior design boutiques. It is a perfect area to stroll, to get lost and find a charming square, ideal to relax and take a break under a tree. Saint-Germain-des-Prés is very central and you can get to most places just walking. The Latin Quarter is right next to it, as well as the Luxembourg Garden. To get to the Louvre Museum, you just need to cross the river through one of the beautiful bridges decorating the Seine. This is the perfect spot to look for accommodation if you are visiting Paris for several days. If you also wish to have time to relax and feel the local ambience. I would also put this as the first option for couples that are looking to spend the most romantic time. Hotels and flats here tend to be expensive, but this location is worth the price.
So guys, these are the 3 most famous places to stay in the left side of the River Seine. Hopefully, you can make your hotel arrangements with time so that you can assure your first choice. But remember, if you don't get to stay exactly where you were dreaming of, no panic. We have an excellent transportation system which will allow you to move around the city pretty efficiently and most of the time economically. If you wish to check my video about the 4 most famous places to stay on the right bank of the River Seine, just click here. If you have already been to Paris before and you wish to share with us your experience about the place where you stayed, I invite you to write your comments below. If you have questions, please share them with me so I can consider them for a future video. And if you found this video helpful, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The sooner I get 1,000 subscribers, the sooner I will be able to start streaming videos live from Paris for you to see from all over the world. Hoping to see you soon, traveler. À bientôt!